recording on. Okay, that looks good.
Yeah.
Let me close that. Don't need that. Definitely don't need that. Okay, here we go, everybody. We're going to start it up.
Yeah.
Gonna hit record here. And then play these intros in 3, 2, 1.
Let's free you from that moist, pendulous meat prison and escape this corporeal plane.
I got a crossbow.
The morning stream. You're soaking in it.
Good morning, all, and welcome back to the morning stream. It is Tuesday, October 11th, 2022. I'm Scott, and that's Brian.
How is moist, pendulous meat prison the second weirdest thing I've heard this morning?
You'll have to be a patron to know what the first weirdest thing you've heard this morning
The first weirdest thing, and we heard it ad infinitum. Is what we heard. But
let's just say Brian's got a strange thing. I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah. Find out what that thing is.
I wonder
on
what
the Patreon feed.
People who got the Patreon feed already heard this, but for those of you who don't, this is yet another amazing reason to sign up. Is to hear
it really is
strange things.
You know, this is quite possibly the most amazing thing that's ever been
said ever. Right?
Said ever. Yes.
Said ever. That's what I say. Said ever.
Said ever.
Anyway, hey, welcome, everybody. It's time for show, and we got a lot of things going on. In fact, I want to start things off, speaking of weird things to hear. I heard something yesterday while I was on the hunt for additional film choices on the Shudder app. Because I have a month of Shudder during the during the Halloween.
Use up that, take advantage of your month of Shudder. If you pay for it, make sure you use it.
Yeah, and it's cheap. I think it's $5, but Shudder has a bunch of originals and a bunch of horror movies and stuff that I'm into during the Halloween season. So I figured, why not? So I started digging around in there, and I found this one that just hit that everybody's like 91% on Rotten Tomatoes, and everyone's saying, "Oh, you got to see it."
Oh wow!
It's this found
high
footage
praise right there.
Yeah, pretty high praise. It's a thing called Deadstream, and it's a dude who is a former
Pod fading is what it is.
he's a former very popular YouTuber star.
Oh, okay, wow.
I mean, it's all fake. It's not really made up, but
yeah, of course,
or not based on anybody real. But anyway, he's been diminished because he pulled some stunts that got him in trouble. The people thought were like culturally insensitive or something. So it's kind of, the Logan Paul type stuff.
Sure.
Anyway, so this guy, to make up for it, he straps GoPros all over him. He's got a selfie cam, a frontal looking at his face cam, one on his head, and one behind him on a helmet that's seeing things behind him. And he decides, kind of found footage style, that his next big thing to bring him bring him back to his full glory as an influencer, he's going to go out to this old haunted shack home thing out in the middle of all places, Payson, Utah, which is not that far from me, about 30 minutes from me.
Okay.
And I think it's actually filmed out there. I could be wrong. But anyway, he goes out there with all this gear and sets up cameras inside the house. The house is legitimately horrible and scary and awful and dilapidated, and clearly somebody with like a spray paint cam went in there and did a lot of crack and sprayed walls, and it's just a mess.
Sure,
and he's there in the night. He's, to show everybody how serious he is, he throws his spark plugs out of the car into the woods to say that I'm not going to just run away from this. And he's by himself.
This keeps me from getting back in my car. And all that. Yeah, okay.
Basically, yeah. And the minute he does that, you go, well, he'll regret that. That's a thing he'll regret. Anyway, he gets in the house. He does all his things. I don't want to tell the whole story here, but it's a great mix of funny and scary. Kind of Sam Raimi vibe going on.
Okay. All right.
I was surprised how good the mix of humor is and how well they understand the internet. This isn't just some bull crap. They
it's
get
not,
it.
Beep, boop, 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 okay, I'm streaming kind of thing.
No, they get it. They understand how it works. He interacts with a chat room. It's a fake streaming service because they can't use the name Twitch, so they use something else. But it works just like Twitch, and the way these comments come in, I feel like these people did their research. Like they really know what they were doing.
Really? Okay.
Anyway, it's very good. Recommend it. However, he says something during the movie that I went back and listened to 4 times and thought of, okay, what's the context of the scene? I don't understand what he's referring to. I don't know what this means. I'm going to play it here. And I know that I'm possibly setting myself up for, Scott, that's obvious. I've heard it a billion times. I'm okay. I'll take the hit on this if that's true.
All right.
But I don't know what it is, Brian. Here it is. I'm going to play this. What does this mean? Here we go.
This room smells like my AH.
AH? This room smells like my AH. Do you know what that is?
No.
Not off the top of your head?
For once, I can say, for once, but I can honestly say, no, you're right in not understanding what, asshole.
Oh, was it asshole?
AH.
Oh.
AH.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. Now, in context, this makes sense because it didn't.
He's an
I
asshole.
didn't get it till the chat said it, but he has to not. He's trying not to say swear words because the platform he's on will demonetize him if he swears too much. So he does this a lot, where he's like, "This place smells like my AH," or he says, "shoot" instead of. Or once he goes, "Oh shit," and he goes, "Oh, please don't demonetize," or I heard something upset, like he was trying to justify because it really is haunted.
Yeah. I always thought that was one word. That was one 7-letter word, not two separate words.
Well, I think you make a good point.
Yeah.
It's probably being used wrong.
We've said, "Oh, that guy's such an A." We say that, and instantly we know, that he's using the letter A to signify the word asshole.
Sure. But yeah, it's a weird thing, and people should probably see it if you like found footage style horror movies. If you hate that sort of thing, this isn't going to fix that for you.
Mm-hmm.
But it treats it all pretty. How do I put this? Like it's still, you could still argue the best found footage movie is still Blair Witch because it really
defined
does
the genre, really.
It did. Plus, it still feels the most legit, like the most
Yeah.
fake documentary to me of all of them.
Yeah.
There are reasons why people thought it was real. Like, oh my gosh, must be real. And like there was, it didn't help that their viral campaign was believed by a lot of people as well. But anyway, since then, there've been some good ones, but they all kind of have this like, it's too tempting to film it like a normal movie in this one part.
Right, exactly.
Or,
and you have to be able to explain.
Sorry, go ahead.
You have to be able to explain in your movie why a certain thing is being shown that normally would not have even been caught with found footage, right? It's kind of like the it's the problem I have with shows like America's Funniest Home Videos and Fail Army is, okay, so why did you set up a video to record you walking through your house when you slipped on that skateboard and dropped the eggs?
Exactly. The paranormal activity does that egregiously.
Yeah. Yes.
And it has its moments. It's fine. It's just, it's too tempting.
Yeah.
I don't blame him. It's tempting. You got to do what you got to do. But this guy gets away with it almost because it's a trick. Because when he goes to this house, he's like, all right, I'm going to put GoPros in every room so that if there's any noise, this app's going to pick up that sound and switch automatically to that view so you guys can see what maybe made the sound. And he's talking to the chat room, of course. And it all feels completely plausible that he would have all these cameras set up because he brought the gear with him and he's up there like duct tape and shit.
He's creating content, so it doesn't make sense. Yeah. This reminds me that I need to watch Spree, which is the dude from Stranger Things with the hair. And people know who I'm talking about. The dude with the hair in Stranger Things.
Sure, he has hair.
As a Uber Lyft driver who goes nuts or something,
It's the driver that goes crazy, or he gets a bad
It's the
passenger?
driver that goes crazy. Like he fills the car with cameras and films himself kind of going crazy.
You should do this. You should watch it as a Lyft driver and tell us what you thought.
I should, exactly. Well, this couldn't really happen because this is a...
Well, I have not heard of that, but I would watch that. I'm in the mood right now for this kind of stuff, and it's all good. I'm not, I've been bouncing off a couple things that just didn't grab me. This one grabbed me, though, and it's actually funny and has its finger on the pulse of, like, sort of modern-day ideas.
If only there was a really good horror movie or thriller about a lower-class South Korean family that slowly inserts themselves into the life of an upper-class South Korean family. If only there was a...
Not really a horror movie, though.
Not really a horror movie, no. How do you know? You don't know?
Well,
it could be.
I can't find it in any of those genres. I look at it and it says, it's a thriller.
It's a thriller. It's not a... it's definitely not a horror movie, but it is a thriller.
Thriller's like the cousin that sits at the tiny table at Thanksgiving. It's just not quite the same. But I still want to watch it. I still want to see it. You know, I do.
Do you though?
I do.
Do you?
It's just every time I'm like, maybe I'll watch that. I'm like, I don't feel like reading. That's usually what hits me. It's like I don't feel like reading, and I definitely don't want to watch it in English.
You don't want to watch. No, dubs on that would suck. So don't do dubs.
Yeah, I guess I haven't heard if it's dubbed well or not, but it doesn't matter. I'd rather not.
Yeah, I did dubs with Heist. What was that? Money Heist. The I think Italian series that was that's on Netflix, and that one from all accounts before I started watching, I heard was done well, and it was done really well.
Yeah.
To the point where I had to go back and listen to interviews with the actual stars from Money Heist to say, wow, they really did find people who sound just like them. So
you spoke very highly of that.
I
series.
did. I still highly recommend it. It's one I think about often, and the decisions and the choices made in that show. Like, you know, it's the Game of Thrones. Nobody is impervious to being taken out at any time.
Gotcha.
Okay. You know, that character you just love, you might not, don't get too attached.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, speaking of Game of Thrones.
Yes.
I don't know if anyone else is out there caught up with House of the Dragon or not, but let me just say this.
I'm taking my headphones off.
No spoiler.
Uh-huh. You've said that before.
I have. I promise there's no spoiler
before.
to this. I'm just going to say that, that character in Beetlejuice sitting in the waiting room with the shrunken head?
I'm taking this off right now.
There's nothing to say. There's no spoilers. There's no spoilers. But
wave, wave when I can put it back on.
All right, you can put it on now. I'm not going to say anymore. I'm done.
Right,
I'm not going to say anymore. It's not a spoiler of any kind.
Now I'm going to be looking for a shrunken head character in Beetlejuice or in Game of Thrones.
See, if you did, it won't happen. It won't work for you.
Or a burnt cigarette guy, or a person with a worm face, or something like that. As soon as I see somebody that looks like something from Beetlejuice, I'm going to say, "Oh, this is what I was talking about."
No, you know what? You won't know.
Maybe it's just going to be friggin' Alec Baldwin. Maybe Alec Baldwin makes an appearance, and I'm like, "Oh, that's what he's talking." Oh man, now I know something's going to happen to Alec Baldwin.
It's more likely that would happen than the thing that actually happens. You're going to be surprised by it. You'll get to it and go, "Oh, this what he meant,"
All right.
And you won't do that till episode 7 or whatever it is.
Yeah. Listen, I got so excited. One of my uncle's favorite character in the Marvel universe is one that makes an appearance, appearance that to him was a surprise in Werewolf by Night, because he didn't see that flash in the trailer that you and I talked about last week.
Oh, right.
That I saw.
Yeah. And
we went over to their house to watch it the other night, and it was impossible. Like, it was the hardest thing for me not to say, by the way, there's a character that you like, you're gonna like this. Oh my god, you're so gonna like this.
Yeah.
So I had to, it's a discipline. You can't,
it's hard.
They know that you know.
Yeah.
You don't need to let them know that you know.
Yeah, and in that, what Brian's talking about, that could be some sort of thing or some sort of man. I mean, I don't know what it is.
In any case, he's giant sized.
Yeah. Either way. Either way. All right. Hey, what are y'all doing here? You want to hear an email? Look at this. Okay.
I do. Let me hear an email.
All right. I have a picture to go with this.
Awesome.
I'm gonna stick it in your Discord first, so I don't forget to do that before I read it. Okay. Here we go. It's on its way, right next to Dwayne the Croc Johnson.
Oh, I want that.
Oh, that's interesting. So this would be a good.
This will be good. All right.
All right.
I mean, I want some of that. I think I don't want all of it. But
no, you don't want all of it. You might want a bite, maybe.
I want a bite, but there's a part of it that it's like, no, that's not a thing that I want. But let's.
All right, here you go.
Send and receive email.
Got an email from Dustin who says, "This is how my grandfather ate Braunschweiger." Am I saying it right? Schweiger.
Mm-hmm.
Like Steven Schleicher. Schweiger. Steven Schweiger.
Right. Yes. Braunschweiger.
Nailed it. And
I
follow
have a funny
suit.
story too once we're done with this about Braunschweiger.
Oh, good. That's perfect. Says good white bread, Miracle Whip, and a slice of American cheese. And there is a difference. There are different companies that make it, and they all taste different, consistency and spice. Dustin. So I don't know. He didn't tell us the best brand, but that's the use of it right there, folks. That
it's
big
very
old
interesting, and not even spreading it, just taking a slice of it, and that's fine. The Miracle Whip, no problem with it. White bread, sure, but American cheese,
yeah, dude.
American cheese is neither American nor cheese.
Yeah.
Discuss.
Yeah. It really is bad. It's bad cheese. It's never been good.
Exactly.
Do people like that cheese? I don't. I hate it.
Yeah, no, it's
gross.
When you can see your reflection in a slice of cheese, you know it's bad. It should not be glossy. Cheese should not be glossy.
Your cheese should never shine. It should always be matte finished.
Exactly. So I will do this. I will tell Tina, and Oscar Mayer was the brand that I grew up with Braunschweiger.
Oh, that'd be easy to find.
Very easy to find. You can still find it in the store.
Is it good? Like, are they a brand I will taste and go, oh, yum? Or
it's the only brand I've ever had, so I don't know another. And I'm sure it's not, because I'm sure there are much better brands, like actual German brands of Braunschweiger that probably are far better than Oscar Mayer. Oscar Mayer is not German.
No, he's not.
It's a dude who slices bologna, and it's his first name.
That's right. Oscar, last name Meyer.
Exactly.
It's my assumption. I'm telling Kim right now,
He's got away with BOLOGNA.
Damn straight he does. Yeah. I said, can you get me some Braunschweiger next trip to the store? All right, my wife has now been informed that I would like to try some of this that I've never had in my life.
Yeah. Now, how are you going to have it? Are you going to...
I'm not putting that cheese on it, but I might, Well,
what
would
don't
you
wrap a hot dog with it and stick in the microwave.
No.
Is what I'm saying. Like have it in a way where you can enjoy the Braunschweiger.
What would you do? What would you suggest? I'll take your advice.
I would do something very close to what this the writer's grandfather did, which is to get nice white bread, a little mayo, a slice of cheddar cheese.
Okay. No.
And
so we can still go yellow orange cheese, just not American.
Right? Exactly. Like an actual cheese. Yeah.
Nothing that comes with a little that's on a plastic sheet. None of that.
Right, exactly. Yes. Yeah. I don't need anything individually wrapped, thank you very much.
Yeah. Burgess Diesel makes a point that it's like the best thing for like breakfast sandwiches. You melt it, and yes, it has its uses. I get it. Like if I'm going to get
you know what else also melts? Cheddar cheese.
Yeah, all other
Swiss
cheeses.
Cheese.
Yeah, all other cheeses, stinky or otherwise. Like
I can't imagine a defense that would work for why you should even consider American cheese.
I tend to agree. I think we're on the same page here. I don't want American cheese. Look, I'm an American.
What is the flavor of American cheese? What is the flavor?
Bad,
what is it?
Bad, poor, I guess. I don't mean like, I don't mean economically disadvantaged. I mean
government. It tastes like government.
It tastes like government. Yeah. Nobody wants anything that tastes like government.
Yeah. Even what is it? Ophidian 807 says best melting cheese for grilled cheese sandwich. No. You know what also melts really well on a grilled cheese sandwich? Any other cheese.
Yeah, hard disagree on that. I don't think that's the best grilled cheese. Not even close, dude. I mean, in a pinch, I'll do it. It's fine.
For me, this should be the debate. The pineapple on pizza thing shouldn't be a debate, because you can put anything on pizza, and guess what? It's pizza still. But American cheese should be the great debate
the
on
divider.
Twitter and
it's the great divider. Would you eat? Okay, fine. Would you eat your favorite kind of pizza, but with American cheese on it?
If I had to,
yeah.
Like a gun to my head, sure.
You'd do it? Okay. All right.
If I had a choice, no. If I could do mozzarella and like a 75-25 mozzarella provolone blend, I would take that.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this about Braunschweiger then.
Sure. Would I put Braunschweiger on a pizza?
No. But cold only, or is a heated or cooked or fried version of this any good?
Do it either way. Yeah,
doesn't matter.
Do it either way. Yeah, this is also firming the bread up by toasting it with Braunschweiger. Make your sandwich, put your cheddar cheese or whatever cheese you want with there, and then put it in the toaster oven and let the outside of the bread toast. Although everyone in the chat room is saying cold only. I guess you only want to do cold Braunschweiger.
Really? That's interesting.
Well, Rainbow Bright says grill it. This is an interesting thing.
This is where it's like spam, kind of.
Yeah, kind of. All right. Best way to prepare Braunschweiger. Oh, somebody makes a potato hash recipe with Braunschweiger.
Oh, now we're talking.
Oh, man.
I already know that's good. I don't care what meat's in
Yeah.
there, dude. I'd love a good hash. Oh.
God, food.com. Seriously, food.com. Open face Braunschweiger melts, liver sausage, tomatoes, Hellman's mustard, and Velveeta cheese on food.com.
Velveeta.
Velveeta. I guess that's still better than individually wrapped Kraft slices.
You know what? Any cheese that successfully can be used with a Play-Doh fuzzy bumper barbershop shouldn't be cheese. You know what I mean? That stuff.
Right, yeah.
That's not right. That isn't right. I don't
that's
like
not
that.
right.
These are like those 7-Eleven freaking nacho boats you go get when we were
right,
teenagers.
Exactly, yes.
Gross.
Oh my gosh. You know which Braunschweiger brand you should get, Scott? I'm going to send you a link.
Tell me more.
It's from this company right here. Oh, I'll just tell you. Fricks!
Fricks? Oh, I love it.
Fricks! Oh, frick!
That fits my lifestyle. I'm ready.
It does, yes.
Okay. Fricks. Let's see if I have
Fricks
a
Braunschweiger.
see if I have a sound file of me saying frick. Yeah, here we go. Ah! Oh shit! What in the frick?
That's their new slogan. Fricks Braunschweiger. Try it now. It'll make you go, what the frick?
What the frick? It's pretty good. Why aren't we in the jingle business? That was a damn good jingle.
Exactly.
Well, all right. On that note, I'm going to get some. I'm seriously, Kim's going to get some. I'm going to make something out of it.
Cool.
I may go to the store later too. I don't know. I think she's going today is the reason I'm having her do
I
it,
think
but-
you'll have a easier time finding that than a four-eyed grimace adult Happy Meal.
Yeah, I will. Oh, I haven't tried since, but
Yeah.
that was a pain. Now nobody's talking about it. Although
worth it.
they keep showing up on Reddit. It's like, why are we not talking about these four-eyed adult toy things that you get at the McDonald's? I'm like, hello? We've been talking about it
we
before
talked
you
about
knew
them
about
2
it.
weeks ago when they were a thing, and now they're not.
That's right. We're hipster podcasters here,
Yeah,
generated
yeah.
by AI. All right. Let's get into what's next here, folks, and that is the news. It's today's news brought to you by.
Not turning off your delivery menu.
Okay, so
I don't know what this is, so I'm excited to find out what this means.
Well, I ordered food from. We wanted salads last night, but we were too lazy to make them here at the house.
Okay, all right.
And so we were like, who makes good salads around here? And we really like this pub up the street that makes amazing food called The Break. And I've taken Ham in there before. He knows about this place.
Okay, all right.
They make really good salads. So they make this steak salad with like mixed greens and this like weird raspberry blue
Vinaigrette?
cheese thing. It's so good.
Gotcha. Okay.
Anyway, we ordered 3 of those, and we're like, all right, sweet. How do they do it? Well, they don't do DoorDash. They do pickup, takeaway. But, oh, look, they use this service online where you can order online, and then they'll deliver it. And it's their own delivery, and we can tip them what we want, and so on and so forth.
Cool. And the restaurant gets more of the money than they would with a DoorDash. Or
Yeah,
Uber Eats
which
or
we're
something.
100% fine doing, right? I don't need to use DoorDash. In fact, we could have driven up there and grabbed it, but we just thought, well, let's see if this works. We've never tried it before. So we did it, and they said, yep, you're confirmed, and your food will be there by whatever it was last night, 5:55 or some number, like just before 6.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't show up at the time they said. And we're like, well, it's just up the street. Maybe they're busy. We don't know. So we're just kind of waiting. And I had forgotten. I put my phone number in as the like contact number, and I left it in the other room and on Do Not Disturb. So I didn't hear this thing ringing. I didn't know they were trying to call me,
Oh,
but
no.
they apparently
Okay.
were trying to call me, and they blamed it on some guy named Kevin, who I guess they don't use this anymore. They used it during
Oh,
the pandemic.
no.
They don't use it now, but he turned it on today. It's a thing you can do. Every day you can decide whether you use it or not.
Yeah.
And they hit it to yes. And so they were very apologetic. We're so sorry, this and that. And Kim's like,
How
well,
long were you waiting for your food?
it was a lot longer than I wanted. It was like 6:15 by the time we figured out what the heck was going on. So finally, Kim's like, well, I'll just come down there and get it, no problem. And so we did. And they gave us a $10 discount on everything just for the trouble. They were really nice.
That's
so
awesome.
What I'm doing here is I'm promoting the Break, an amazing little bar pub thing up the road that is great. They're really good people. Their food's amazing. The only problem they have is their owner, who lives in the area, has 3 teenage boys who think it's funny at 2 a.m. to drag race down the main road.
Oh, no. That's, wow.
And no one wants to talk about it.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, we definitely know it's him. And the guy knows, too, and he's annoyed with it as well, but it's just like he's got these spoiled rich kids who think it's funny at 2 a.m. to go up the road. And I'm like, save it for when you're 50 and you're trying to overcompensate for your tiny, tiny penises.
Jeez.
All right.
Jeez. So, did you? I know Kim watched The Bear. Did you watch The Bear?
I watched much of The Bear with her, but I missed bits and pieces, but saw most of The Bear. Yeah.
There was an episode where they had like an order online pickup order kind of thing, and they turned that on, and this thing's just spitting out tickets. Pew, 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 pew.
Oh.
And that's what I'm picturing these guys when they turned on their.
That was like the Firehouse Subs we went to that we got super delayed at.
Right. Yes.
I felt so bad for them that day.
Yeah.
Like, what have we done to these poor people? You know, they're not getting paid more, but they sure are working harder.
Yeah.
But all their prices went up too. That salad used to be $8. It's $13 now. Come on now. What's going on there? What's going on there? Inflation? Is that what you're telling me? Inflation?
God, it almost would have been cheaper just to make your own salad.
You're 100% correct. In retrospect, I think we probably should have done that. But you know, $30 later, you learned.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to this here story. This has been actually all over the place since I originally found it, so I feel like I'm, everyone's heard this story, but I still think it's worth talking about. A Texas mother is warning that Hocus Pocus 2, the new film, the sequel to the early 90s deal, will unleash hell on your kids. Brian, we're entering Satanic Panic version 2.0 right now.
Unleash hell!
Unleash hell.
And I don't think they mean, she means that it'll beat your kids to a pulp.
No.
She's like, okay.
Like beat the schmear out of them.
It'll actually release hell, and your kids will be the recipients of said hell.
The recipients of hell. That's exactly right. That's a great new movie I'm going to make. Recipients of Hell. It's an album cover. That's what that is. Anyway, one mom is urging parents not to let their children watch the newly released Hocus Pocus 2 because the film will unleash hell on your kids and in your home. Jamie Gooch.
Oh.
Her last name is Gooch.
Her last name is Gooch. I remember when she used to beat up on poor Arnold on Different Strokes.
Oh,
it was horrible.
Man, that Gooch kid. Yeah.
She unleashed hell on poor Arnold Drummond.
What you talking about, Gooch? This is a mother of 3 living in Troy, Texas. Shared a post on social media and told local news station that their family would not watch this film. The worst case scenario is you unleash hell on your kids and in your home. The whole movie is based on witches harvesting children for blood sacrifices, unquote.
That's what I heard. I heard that was the Disney Plus description. Like when you pull up the movie, add to watch list, it says, join Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathy Najimy as they harvest children for blood sacrifices. Rated G.
Rated G for all audiences. The mom added that while everybody thinks it's fake and innocent, the characters in the film could be casting any type of spell that they want to. Any kind of spell.
Any kind of spell.
I hate this so much.
Walter White could be making any kind of drug, but he chose meth.
And then she went, anything could be coming through that TV screen in your home. Anything.
Anything.
Yeah. A broadcast of I just want to kick her in an interview, she cited her faith and belief that there is a spiritual war being waged against homes in America. Did she just get pulled out of 1981 and planted here?
Oh, man. Is she a Kirk Cameron character?
I don't freaking know. At least back then, he was just a kid making TV,
Yeah, that's true. Right.
As a reason to warn parents about films and other forms of entertainment that depict witches and witchcraft, Today Parents, which is a offshoot of Today, reached out to Gooch for comment. See, this is the problem. Not only are we giving her airtime because we're talking about her, even Today Parents is like, hey, you want to come on here and talk about your deal? And why do they want that? Because she's sounds like an insane person, and that keeps people riveted. That's why this happens.
Great for ratings. Like, let's all watch the crazy person rant about Satan.
Yep. Jeremy Gooch responded via email on behalf and declined to comment or give an interview, saying that the family had been dealing with threats. Now, I don't know if they mean threats because of her comments or the threat of things coming out of their TV. I don't know which they meant. Gooch shared that her family has not observed Halloween for 4 or 5 years. She believes the potential dangers stretch far beyond All Hallows Eve.
You know, it's funny. Jeremy and Jamie Gooch. I just like thinking Jeremy Gooch.
Jeremy Gooch. Jeremy Gooch. Jeremy Gooch. Jeremy Gooch.
Jeremy Gooch.
They're stupid and they're fascist. They're the dumb and stupid asses. I mean, we could make a whole song, Brian.
A whole song about Jeremy Gooch.
So dumb. Gooch. I'd go to the courthouse. I just would. Gooch is too weird. I don't care how long your family line is. Just go change it to anything but Gooch.
Yeah.
It's too close to Cooch. All right, there's that story.
Oh, that's pretty good, Win Vegas. Jeremy Gooch, can you do the fandango?
Yeah, I like that.
I like that.
That's really good. Nicely done.
I guess Jamie Gooch works even better, the right number of syllables. Jamie Gooch, can you do the fandango?
No, because it's on my television and scary things come out of it. All right. A man.
Thunderbolts and lightning coming through my Samsung.
We've given her the brand of television that she has. My guess is she doesn't have a TV now. It didn't say, but this is what these people do.
Oh, I'm sure they do, and I'm sure that thing is locked to a certain news channel that.
Yeah, we won't.
I'm sure
mention
Tucker
here.
Carlson is on that TV every night.
Yeah, you want to talk about bullshit spewing out of your TV?
Confused eyebrows.
Yeah, the irony.
Yes.
The real bullshit was in the house the whole time. All right.
That's right, exactly.
Here's a Vegas story. We haven't done a Vegas story in a while, so
no, we haven't.
This is kind of cool. A man filmed. I'll show you the footage in a second, everybody.
Okay.
Man takes a rescue camel to an In-N-Out drive-thru in Las Vegas for fries. Just wanted fries. And this is real. This is that one big, the one that everybody knows if you've gone to Vegas and went to In-N-Out. It's that
the one
right
off of the 15.
Yep.
By whatchamacallit, by Tropicana Boulevard. Or is it Tropicana?
It's off Tropicana, right?
I think it's off Tropicana Boulevard, yeah.
On the side that if you kept going over there, you'd go to the Rio, I guess, or whatever it is.
Yes, correct, yeah.
Anyway, this guy he didn't even ride the camel. He walked it up to the thing and said, "Hey, what's up?" And they said, "We just want some fries."
I assume you want this animal style. Ha ha.
I didn't even think of that. That's very good. I don't know. We've talked about this on the show before, but how do you classify an animal like that as a support animal or as a
rescue? No, it's been like saved from a rescue dog.
I was thinking
yeah.
I don't know why I was thinking that. That's dumb. Of course, rescue meaning rescue animal. I get it now.
Like a rescue tiger. Why does somebody need to have a tiger with them at all times to make them feel better?
But rescued from what? Like one of the casinos in a zoo show, or
rescued from that Sigma Derby that they used to have inside Caesar's Palace with the little camels running around in circles.
Oh, wait though. Those are little plastic.
That was a little plastic. That was a little plastic camels.
I don't know how. That's the part of the story I don't understand. I don't get it.
Yeah, probably from a zoo or some sort of cheapo attraction where they weren't taking care of it. Some petting zoo or
in Colorado. It says here it is.
Yeah, the rescue. Oh, rescue from Colorado. We have a lot of animal rehabilitation. I wonder if the camel was rescued from Colorado or if it's a rescue camel from Colorado.
Yeah, like was its life hard in Colorado, and they were like, you know what,
exactly,
take you to Vegas for a good time, kind of thing. I don't know.
Oh yeah, so the sanctuary, is a rescue from Colorado that now lives in a sanctuary in the Las Vegas area. So yeah, it's a private owner in Colorado.
I wonder how far, because he walked it and then went through the drive up, and that's right there near the strip and stuff. Is this animal sanctuary just like right around there? Like next to dildos and cars, and like where is this thing? Because you know how that is over there. It's just all concentrated.
It totally is. The strip mall's right next to the 15. On the other side of the strip are dildo shops, puppetry of the penis, and car dealers, and
yeah, it's all weird over there.
Yeah,
I would not recommend being there at night.
I think he must have driven it there in a livestock camper.
Oh, like those ones you see with cattle
I guess the
and
camel
horses.
just really loves fries and wants them hot and doesn't want cold fries brought to him back at the sanctuary.
Yeah, that's true. They always said a camel. I don't know if this was just stuff they said and we believed it back in the day, but the camels carry all that water in their humps, right?
Yeah. It's really just fat. Yeah, I mean, it's water, fat. Yeah.
Could I tap that and like
No,
get a little water out of there?
I don't think it's stored like a tank. It's like moisture in the fat that's in those humps.
Got it. So it's like a boob with milk in it, right? Like human or otherwise. It's not a container of milk.
Right. Exactly. It's not a.
It's an arrangement of bits.
In a woman's body, it's a little bit more like a tank than it is a fat pocket that's a hump.
Right.
Like they're not extracting milk from fat.
No, but I think the structure of it is more porous and like
it
windy.
is more porous. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And boy, howdy, women. Can I just say something for women real quick? Can I just say I got a daughter who's now breastfeeding a little one now, a new one. And she's doing great, just this healthy little thing. No jaundice, nothing. She's doing good. But I look at my daughter, and I watched Kim go through this 3 times, but I forget how big a deal this is for a woman's body. Like, they got to shove this 7-pound, 19-inch kid out of her belly, which is all distended and jacked up from the process, and then hork it all out of your doodah there. Mm-hmm. And then you got other stuff that's got to get out of there too. And then, you tear things and you rip things and then your uterus is like a big gaping monster going, okay, I'm trying to shrink again. This hurts. And then you got to try to get milk going. And that's hard sometimes, easy for some, harder for others. And you hear the baby cry and then all of a sudden your boobs hurt. It's like, I don't think dudes have any frickin' idea, dude. I don't think we get it.
We really don't. And if dudes could have babies, Roe versus Wade would not have been overturned.
100%. I don't care if you're pro or against that move. I don't care who you are. If you tell me that it wouldn't be any different if men were pregnant, you're lying to me and
lying
yourself.
To yourself. Exactly.
You're lying to me. There's no way. No way. Dude, I have some hardcore pro-life friends who would go, yeah, that's absolutely true. They would agree with me on that. Because, think about it. The men are making all the choices.
I'll have a Plan B pill.
I will have an abortion. For the American people to marry. All right. Let's move on to Texas Pete.
Sure, Texas Pete.
Sounds almost Vegas-y. Isn't there a Texas Pete's casino?
It does. There's a Texas. What is the dude's name that the animated neon sign?
Yeah, the sitting up there riding.
Texas Pete. There's Vegas Vicky, and she's now in the Circa. What's the dude's name?
That's not the Golden Nugget, is it? Or was?
No, Golden Nugget's still the Golden Nugget. Circa is right across the street from the plaza.
What was the cowboy one?
Yeah, I can't remember that guy's name.
He's not Texas Pete, I don't think.
No, he does have a cowboy hat though. Vegas Vicky and what's that guy's name? Can't remember.
He does have a cowboy hat. That is true. He does. He's somewhere else now. They parked him somewhere.
He's probably at the Neon Museum. Yeah. Vegas Vic.
Vegas Vic?
Vegas Vic. So
wow, I don't like that.
Yeah, there he is right there. Yep.
I don't think Vegas Vic is a good name. I'm just gonna put that out there. It's a stupid name.
It is a stupid name. Yeah.
Name a cowboy in any cowboy lore named Vic. They don't exist.
It's short for Victor.
Yeah, right? How many Victors do you know? Oh, look out! It's old.
It's short for Vicky.
It's old Eagle Eye Vic coming to town to shoot people. Oh no!
Right.
Call the sheriff. Anyway.
Yeah.
Texas Pete hot sauce is what we're talking about, and they're facing a lawsuit because it's not made in Texas; it's made in North Carolina.
Get a rope.
Yeah. Grocery store shopper in California has filed a class action lawsuit against TW Garner Foods Incorporated or Company, alleging false advertising over their Texas Pete brand hot sauce. The issue, Texas Pete is not made there. As I mentioned, it's in North Carolina. Philip White of L.A. claims he was under the impression that Texas Pete was hot sauce that was produced in Texas when he purchased a $3 bottle at Ralph's Supermarket in September of 2021, according to the complaint. I'm just going to stop here and say, F this guy. This is the reason that Judge Judy exists. Go do it there.
Yeah. Did he also go to see Indiana Jones and was upset that movie didn't take place in Indiana?
Yeah, I got bad news for him for most of the movies he's seen in TV shows. Did you sue somebody because Battlestar Galactica was in Vancouver and not space?
Did not take place in a Battlestar?
Yeah, there wasn't an actual space where it happened. Dumbass. I hate this kind of stuff.
Just because a name contains the state, that person, Texas Pete, if Texas Pete was even a real person, he could have moved from Texas to North Carolina and been impressed by the barbecue sauce out there.
I agree. He says, the lawsuit says, there is surprisingly nothing Texas about them. That's the actual quote. The complaint further alleges that Texas Pete's ingredients also come from sources outside of Texas. Again, bad news, dude. Everything you do comes from somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's the time. That's where we live. That's what we do now. Anyway, it says it was an obvious question. The brand even acknowledges that it may be confusing for some. No, just this idiot, I promise. The brand's website, pulling
I
out.
try to put this barbecue sauce or this hot sauce on my French fries, which definitely come from France.
Yep, these are from France, not Idaho. The brand's
Belgium.
The brand's highlights a December 5th, 2013 article from the Triad Business Journal pulling out the following sentence. With a name like Texas Pete, one would think the famed hot sauce is manufactured somewhere in the Lone Star State. So they even say on their website, multiple places, unless you're a complete idiot, the stuff's not made there. This guy's dumb and should lose his suit.
We don't even know if Pete was made in Texas.
No.
Conceived in Texas.
No, we don't even know. I mean, for all we know, Pete's, hey, I hate to tell this guy this, but hey, Mr. White in California, Pete's probably made up, probably not a real guy.
Yeah.
I bet it's just a name. It's my thinking.
Yeah.
No way! I'm going to sue him again! I want the judge to...
California King isn't from California.
Right. Just throw it out. Judge hates his job. Just throw this out. Okay?
Exactly.
Anyway.
Frivolous.
Here's a final story. This one about Hong Kong. So maybe this is... Okay. You like to travel, Brian. This may be for you.
I do. Yeah.
Hong Kong is offering 500,000 free air tickets to tempt tourists back to their fine land.
Wow. Jeez.
Yeah. Hong Kong attracted about 56 million visitors a year before the pandemic, and now the popular destination is taking significant steps to win tourists back after 2 years of some of the world's worst travel restrictions. Also, China, who, Hong Kong is now officially 100% a part of and no longer a British colony, they're hardcore on their lockdowns. Like, we're nothing compared to them.
Yeah. Japan, separate, obviously, but also just finally, I think it's actually even today is the day that Japan is allowing tourists to come back to Japan without being monitored or
right,
guided tours or things like that.
Yeah, the Asian countries have dealt with this stuff for a long time, especially high population ones, China, India, stuff like that. They're going to take harder core measures, and they do. I mean, they were beating people for not having their... What was the deal? Something a few weeks ago even. And so, I don't remember what city it was, but there was some Chinese city where, like, if you didn't comply and do the right thing with the not only mask, but, like, some vaccination-proof thing, people were getting shoved out of line and kicked, and it's weird. I mean, it's China, and they have problems, but whatever. Anyway, Hong Kong's awesome. I've been there. It's great. I would go there again. But here's what they did. Just days after dropping its long-standing mandatory hotel quarantine requirement, Hong Kong has confirmed plans to give away 500,000 airline tickets to boost tourism. The move announced 2 years ago was confirmed by CNN. Oh, it was announced 2 years ago. That's weird. By the airport authority in Hong Kong, the AAHK, which said that the 500,000 tickets worth over $254.8 million would go to global visitors along with residents. Let's see. Back in 2020, Airport Authority purchased around 500,000 air tickets in advance from the territory's home-based airlines, part of this relief package. The purchase...
That's what they did. So they bought these air tickets to save the airlines 2 years ago, and now they're going to give those away.
But the part is that I don't like about this story is they don't actually say how they'll do it. Like, let's say Brian wanted to go to Hong Kong. How do you get your tickets?
Go to winatriptohongkong.com.
Okay. Go for it, everybody. And reserve that if it isn't already taken.
Shitoutaluck.com, I think, is the Fletchers told us.
Oh, I love that. That was so great.
I did too.
Here's the problem, Christine, if you're listening, and Scott, if you're listening. Now people want you to do that all the time. So
right.
Yeah. But you got to give the people what they want.
Set yourself up.
Give the people what they want. That's what I'm saying.
That's right.
Speaking of giving them what they want, people like music. We need a musical break. Today, got a little mix-up in the, not a mix-up, a change-up in the schedule. We have Dan the Tabletop Man, a Dangent today instead of Bill. But we still have our science segment after that. So Dan, and then Bobby, and then who knows what. But we have to.
This is so confusing.
It is very confusing. But we got to put a big. Well, we should say our month. What do you call that? When you got the PMS, your monthly.
your menses.
Our time of the our time of the month with Dan. That's what I was trying to say.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, yes.
Because he only comes on once a month. But anyway, he'll be here in a bit. We got to divide this up though with a song. So do you got one?
We do. Let's go to L.A. for a rock quartet. We're going to go heavy on this one. Brand new song from these guys. They're called "Blame My Youth." This brand new song is called "They Only Love You When You're Dead." There's a great music video that goes along with this as well. This is co-written with Nick Long, MGK, Borns, and King Princess, and produced by Joey Moi, frontman Sean Van Vliet. Talked about this on SiriusXM's Alt Nation. Here's the song "They Only Love You When You're Dead" from Blame My Youth.
Strap on this skin-irritating, headache-inducing, heavy face box straight out of a cyberpunk chiropractor's wet dreams.
What's that?
This is the morning stream. Dave's not here, man.
All right, we returned. Regale me with a reminder of what that song was, please.
Brand new single from the LA band Blame My Youth. It's called "They Only Love You When You're Dead."
It's true. That's not true. Sometimes people love people when they're not dead.
No, it's true. Totally true.
But it can be true for you at home. All right.
Sad if it's true.
It is true. Sad and true.
Sad.
It is.
Sad.
We're not going to let sadness get in the way of our next guest. You know him. Oh, I have to put in... let's see. What does he go by? Geek Jock. That's right. You know him as Dan, the Meeple and Meds Man. Meds and Meeple Man.
I know, exactly. Yeah. I remember when Dan used to talk about games.
Yeah, remember that? Well, there might be a bit of that today when I push his thing.
Here's a tangent for you. Be careful. May cause drowsiness.
All right. Hey, look who it is. It's Dan, the Tabletop Man. Hello, Dan. Oh, I don't hear Dan.
Oh.
Dan's muted. Dan's
Dan,
microphone.
Not even getting any rings of speakage.
He's typing. I'm here, but I can't hear you guys. Oh, we don't hear you either. Sounds like your audio and our stuff needs a tweak in Discord options. Let's see what he says to that. Because he's there. I see no rings of speakage, though, so I think that means his mic and his listening devices are not set correctly.
Yeah, sounds like it.
But I don't know how often you use Discord, but that is not unusual. Discord will once in a while switch it all up on you.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it'll flip over to a different default device.
Oh, now I hear him.
There we go.
There he is.
Programs. Man, Discord just decides that it wants to. It changes whatever it wants. You get notifications. You don't want them. You don't want to talk to people. You want to talk to people. Who the hell knows?
I know. It's a bummer. Yeah. It's a bummer. But it's good to have you here, dude. I'll take whatever technical difficulties get us there. It's fine.
Yeah, as long as we get you.
Yeah, man. Hey, welcome to your monthly visit. It's always good to have Dan on here. I was going to start things with an email. I still am, because I want to hear your comments on this. But this is just somebody sent this in regarding the Dan segment. All right, so here it is. Hey, schizophrenia and bipolar. Oh man. Jeez, let's just diminish those two conditions.
Which is which? I don't know. I guess we all have multiple personalities.
That's true. We always assume if it's a B, it's Brian. S, it's me. So I guess I'm schizophrenic. Yeah. Brian's bipolar.
Yeah, I'm bipolar. Sure.
And what do you get? Perfect podcast. All right. Says, I'm a psychiatric nurse practitioner in Minnesota, and I was listening to the show on September 12th with Dan talking about kickbacks and medications. He did a great job of explaining it all. We have drug reps trying to come into our clinic in the hospital all the time, and some have tried to come into our individual offices to try and talk to us about their medication. Our front desk workers are trained to stop them, politely take their educational handouts, and then have them leave. I love how that sounds. I'm sure...
Off with their heads.
Yeah, off with their heads, exactly. Says, I am sure it's a state or hospital law here where they are quite strict about interacting with the providers, but it would have been cool to get a free set of golf clubs or a refrigerator. Anyway, that's all of the show. Insert Van gibberish here. Clown baby. Hey, clown baby in the chat. So, Dan, that seems to kind of confirm what you said about how often they come around and stuff, but are there different rules like where you are, and I know you're in a very different position certainly than she is, and even different from like say retail pharmaceutical stuff, but even then is it cool if you see a guy and he goes, hey, I'm here from Butt-Scratchin Drug Company and I want to show you this miracle thing? Are you required to like turn him away? Can you say, nah, come on in, give me my free truck or whatever? Like how's that go?
Even now, like I said, it's not the Wild West anymore. Like generally they come around just with some information and what they can give you, and then even try to get you, maybe a little seminar at some of the drugs. So the big thing to remember too is that not all drug reps or all these things are quote unquote bad. I mean, they get a bad rap, but I've seen so many places and been a part of other kind of, whether it be a hospital or some other kind of outfit where sometimes the specialized ones are very important to get drug reps in there, because they do bring some good information, because every day things change, and being healthcare providers, you don't always have all the time in the world to stay up to date. Like we go to CEs and stuff like that, continuing educations, you have to have a certain amount yearly, but you aren't always able to get the most up to date thing. And with all the advances in science, I mean, it's such a big industry in the last 20, 30 years that, that med that all of a sudden was used for, somebody's, to get a little polyp off somebody's butt crack is all of a sudden now the leading thing for schizophrenia, where they're like, holy cow, it just works. So that's how medicine is. And, Dr. Ibbott may not have had enough time to go to a seminar to know about that, advancement in it, or he may have heard about it, and a drug rep there can show him some of the data or maybe some of the studies that shows this new indication, and then the doctor can kind of go and do some more research themselves. So it's really interesting to see how how things advance. But again, what I said is the main thing to know is that not all drug reps are bad, and sometimes they do provide a good more so, I think it's more so in the specialty industries rather than your general practitioner office, where they kind of probably see the same 5 meds a million times from different people, and they're just trying to get in your head as far as, oh, I heard this, I heard your name for this muscle relaxant was the last one I heard, so I'm going to write it, even though there's 3 other things that cost about $4 a month.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That I could be writing.
If you can tell me if this ever happened. Maybe it's probably never happened. But if this ever happened, what would you do? Let's say a drug rep comes in. He says, hey, Dan, got this new thing. Can't wait to tell you about it. Goes straight into your veins. By tomorrow, you're cured. Whatever it is, right?
Right.
And you go, okay, well, I can't really talk to you right now. I can't do this. Please leave some stuff at the front, and we'll, thanks for stopping by. And then he jumps over the counter, and he pulls a syringe out of his coat pocket and jams that syringe right in your neck, just and squirts you full of whatever this miracle, whatever it is. And then what would you do? What would your reaction be?
I'd expect to wake up in in Vin Diesel's car, and we're riding somewhere into Mexico. That's where I would wake up and figure out, I am now the carrier for some sort of cure for the world, and everybody's looking for me.
Right. I like that.
Yeah, I like that a lot, actually.
Yeah, I like this movie. I want to see it.
Kind of turned it into a little happy ending there.
Yeah. Nicely done. Well, it'll probably never happen.
Happy ending, that's a completely different podcast.
Yeah, if the guy jumps over
But I'll bet you get one of those if you feature their pharmaceuticals.
Maybe the pills are given you are meant for, maybe they're to enhance your happier endings. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe,
that's right.
Hey, is it true, Dan, from we were talking about this the other day, the Viagra came out of a heart medication? It was like an accidental side effect, and they went, wait, this
So
works
it's
for that?
actually, it's still used quite a bit for, oh my God, I just blanked. It's,
myocardial
infarction. It's like a
Mm-hmm.
more lung-based hypertension.
Oh.
Yeah, and I get prior authorizations all the time so they'll send in, sildenafil or the Viagra, and they needed to prove, you know, that they generally have to tell you. I mean, the doctors really can't lie because these insurance companies are going to kind of come behind them, and we'll look at their, you know, you have to show chart notes and stuff like that. Right. So if they're like saying it's, you know, for atrial hypertension, you know, and then you see in the notes where the first thing it says is diagnosis is ED, you're like, that's not really a thing. But there are, especially children, you see it a lot. You see, I think it's Revatio is the brand name that you see used for children for that. I think it's systolic hypertension that it's used from. That it's used a lot for, and when it is used for that, it's a very good medication and it works very, very well.
So you give it to like a little kid gets Viagra. That seems insane.
I'm stupid. The spammers know no bounds in my house. Apparently.
Yeah, they want to get you. But I mean, you can. So I guess it's not gonna. If it works for the thing it works for, even if, you know, Junior's got a 24-hour boner or whatever, it doesn't matter. Like it's meant for the heart thing, and that's just a side effect. It's just a side effect.
Right. Yeah, and I don't think, you know, and when it's used in those other populations, the dosing is a little bit different, and so you don't really, you know, you probably won't even have those side effects of that sort of thing. And generally, and this is, I apologize if this offends anybody's delicacies. Generally, when you're used in those other populations, you do still need some sort of arousal to get the side effect of it, and that's not going to happen in some of these other populations. You know what I mean? Like it's not just going to give you a boner for, you know, automatically.
Yeah,
you know,
I didn't know that.
It's more a helper. It's not going to do all the work for you.
I mean, this is news to me. I thought it was always just like, hey, enjoy this, whether you like it or not. That's what I thought.
Right. So, well, there's some other meds like we're going down a little tangent rabbit hole here, but there was an old medicine, Caverject, which was used for the same things, but you were injecting it into your peen, and yeah.
No.
And then there was also kind of like, I believe they had suppositories of Caverject too, but yeah, and then that would just cause arousal. What? That's a little bit different than most of the meds where you still have to have arousal. You're not just gonna, you know, that's why some of them, the more popular ones, that they'll last like 12 hours, and so you can, you know, like I think it's Viagra. Most of them were take 1 hour prior to sex. Whereas other ones were like, hey, you're not sure. It's funny because the commercials were great for these. They're like, you're not really sure when you're going to have that moment, but for the next 12 to 24 hours, if you do have that moment, we got you covered. You know?
Yeah, but then, by the way, it's a needle or a thing up your butt. Enjoy.
No, and I think it was, I'm pretty sure it's a urethral suppository. Again, these haven't been used most of the time.
Oh.
Yes.
That's an object. It doesn't. Nothing should fit. Don't put anything in
and
there. I
apologize for the pain that people may be experiencing just thinking about
that. Just from that. Thank you very much.
I'm having a little bit of pain, and it's because of you. So, all right, that's good to know. I just wanted to get to the bottom of that finally and figure out what the heck's going on. And I learned something. I thought Viagra was just an automatic. Here's your deal. You know, go for it. I had no idea.
Yeah, and it's funny how the side effects of women, and this is something I say all the time, but like that's been happening for 40, 50 years, where most of the meds that are used for something now were used for something else when they were in development, which is interesting. Yeah. And you even see some of that with, some antibiotics and stuff like that. Like they just happened to have come across this side effect that it worked better for this, and they're like, all right, well, let's use it.
All right.
Which is great.
Well, now that everyone's come and gotten some medical knowledge, let's get a recommendation for the week for what people should be playing on their tabletop this weekend. Do you have anything hot right now that you're really enjoying?
Oh, a really hot game. And again, Johnson, you can fall asleep for this one because.
Hold on. Are the instructions more than a single card? Is that what you're telling me? Is that what's going on?
No, it's that the game is going to take like 2 to 3 hours, and sometimes, and you can also play. You know. The explanation of this game might be longer than what you would want, but it's it would be easy enough. It still would be easy enough for you to play, but it is a sprawling, really cool game. So we all have heard about Twilight Imperium, like 4th edition. That's a game that I talk about a lot, about how it's like a anywhere from a 4 to 12 hour extravaganza, where it's just a big 4X game, and everybody's got their own race, and you're just taking over the universe, and it just takes forever, but it's great. This is what's called Twilight Inscription. It's based on the same universe, but so roll and write games are kind of, I talk about these a lot, like flip and write or roll and write games are kind of a hotness that's become around the last few years. So like roll and write, the ultimate example of roll and write is like Yahtzee. You know, you're rolling dice and you're writing stuff down. So newer ones the modern roll and writes, like you've got Fleet the Dice Game, or
love,
That's So Clever.
Clever, yeah.
Yes, exactly. So those are big hotnesses, and they've come like crazy the last few years. I mean, there's just hundreds and hundreds of them, but they're great because they're portable, and they're just easy to play and easy to teach. But they're starting to get like heavier ones now. So things like Three Sisters is a little bit heavier. Hadrian's Wall is really heavy. But things like, and then you have Welcome To, which is a nice light one. But so they went ahead and they decided, Fantasy Flight put out this, it's a roll and, or it's kind of a flip and write. We'll call it a roll and write because there's dice in there too. But it's a roll and write based on Twilight Imperium. But it can take, and you can play it from anywhere from 1 to 8 players. I played this a few times already solo. I haven't gotten a chance because I haven't had a whole lot of game days lately because of hockey and everything else. So I have played it solo, but it does take a little while. But it's great. It's easy to learn, but it's very. I mean, it's got to be. If you've seen some of these pictures, you can see how it's a little intimidating because everybody has 4 sheets. Usually, roll and write, you have like 1 sheet, and then and then you're doing stuff. Here, everybody has 4 sheets, and they also have a race that has a special ability. And then there's basically, I think it's like 11 rounds that you're going to go through. So the person that's kind of just, we'll say running the game, it's like, they call them like the, I don't remember, like the diplomat or something. Like somebody's got a special name and they just kind of run the game with flipping over the card. So you flip over the first card, it has like it'll have like a scenario or the event of the round. And then you'll get you'll get like 3 dice or 2 dice or 1 die, depending on the event. And then you'll have to do something with some of these resources, and then you pick which one of your 4 cards that you have, your 4 main event cards that you're going to use, and you're going to figure out which one of those you're going to activate for that round. Which one of your sheets, and then you do different things. There's navigation, there's kind of exploration. It's like 4X. I mean, and there's even kind of a war thing where you're unlocking different ships and stuff, and then you're putting them out because you're always gonna think of it almost Seven Wonders style. When there is a war, you're fighting the person on your left and you're fighting the person on your right, and you're not necessarily fighting the person across the table. So depending on if you beat one or the other, you get some rewards when that war event does come up. And you kind of, it's interesting because since there is the 4 different sheets, you kind of, if you kind of spread out too much, you're going to be the master of nothing. So you got to kind of pick your poison depending on your race too, that may have better advances or better ways to use your dice on the different sheets to advance better, and it may help your strategy a little bit more, because if you thin yourself out too much, you're just not gonna really score very well as it is. So but this one is great. It's a lot of fun. They have these so I call it a roll and write, but all these sheets are kind of this like waxy pen where it's not necessarily, it's I think they call it some sort of, it's like chalk pen, even though I think they use the word chalk, but it's really just another just another grease pen on on there. But it's great, but it takes a little while even solo, but it doesn't overstay its welcome even at the length that it's at, which is great.
Okay,
and it's,
so
really, it was a huge hotness at one of the last, I don't know if it was Gen Con or what it was, but it was huge hotness there. But I picked it up from Cape Fear Games around here, and it's great.
Well, that's awesome. What's the name one more time, so I just make sure people heard it?
It's called Twilight Inscription.
Twilight Inscription. I'm writing this down so I can share it out. Awesome. Twilight Inscription.
And I put the link in there. I don't know if you've got.
I missed it.
There it is. Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, there you have it.
But it's probably going to be about $50-$60 at a friendly local game store, and it's going to scare people off because of maybe the weight or how it looks. You need a big old table to have a lot of people there. Mm-hmm. But I'll say it's not as heavy as it looks. And if you are used to playing roll and write games, even maybe not Hadrian's Wall or the really heavier ones, it doesn't feel. It's once you. I say this a lot with games. Once you speak the language of the game and you learn the language of the game, you know what you're doing. Yeah. Because roll and writes, even the heavier ones, when you see the symbols, once you know what's going on and everything, then it's just a matter of wrapping your head around. All right, well, do I want to unlock this technology, or do I want to use the symbols over here? And then you're kind of the chaining things together. This is what's fun in games, is like when you're like, oh, I got this and it unlocked this. That's what's roll and writes, like Gonshan Clever, Brian. Like you got, I circled this, and now I get to do this, and I get to do this and this, and then you're like, you feel smart after doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
I love it. Well, check it out, everybody. The game is called Twilight Inscription. Available.
Yep.
Probably not at Target, but maybe other places. I don't know.
Yeah, probably more
dedicated gaming store.
Yeah, and who knows? Something like this may even get into Target eventually, because Target's starting to have all sorts. And you probably can get it even like Barnes and Noble may start carrying some of these things. Fantasy Flight is a little bit different with kind of how they release a lot of things. I don't think they allow a lot of online game stores to do these, so you'll see them more in your friendly local game store, and where I guess wherever Asmodee kind of puts their stuff out, because they're all owned by Asmodee as well, Asmodee USA.
Yeah.
But I'll just remind everybody before I go.
Yep.
Don't stick anything in your peen.
Yeah, don't put anything in your
Please
peen.
don't. Yeah.
Seriously. Especially like a meeple. That would hurt, right? Going in and out. You don't want that.
Oh yeah.
Don't be putting...
tiny meeple. Or
If we've
chits, for that matter.
Yeah, or chits. Don't put chits in. Or anything. You know what? Don't put anything. It's an exit-only deal is what the deal is.
Yeah.
I don't want to shame anybody for whatever they're into. Exit only. All right? That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Dan, have a fantastic
Well, you boys
week.
have a great week, and great talking to you guys as always.
Yeah, be good. Have fun. Have a good Halloween, by the way. We'll see you later.
Halloween. Thanks, Dan.
Halloweenus.
Halloween.
I got an email I want to practice as... Okay, so someone sent this in, and I want to read it as if the computer wrote it, okay?
Okay,
So
all
here we
right.
go. Let's see if we can get this to play. All right, here we go.
Good morning, guys. I have enjoyed filling out the questions that Brian makes up for the feud. I couldn't find the last one, and the new one is in Discord or Facebook. I don't use Facebook, and I think I need an invite for Discord if that's possible, or can you just email me the link so I can play, please? Thanks. Chuck Byers. P.S. Why does Brian Ibbott's anus look like that?
Jeez,
I had her do it in her sad voice, and I added the PS, if that wasn't
it
obvious.
is sad. It is sad. Yeah, really.
Yeah. Do you want to answer that? As far as like what the
I'll
deal
answer
is?
the last part. I'm tired of answering the first part.
You
about
don't wanna
the Discord
answer that
and Facebook.
anymore.
Join Facebook and Discord, but let's really talk about my anus.
Yeah, just get in there. It's not hard. Join those things and just be in there.
Yeah, no, it's a really good point. I guess we didn't put it on Twitter as well, but look, I mean, you know, we can put it on 18 different places, and there'll be somebody who says, "Well, I don't use any of those 18 things, so I don't know what to do."
Well, in the case of Discord,
email-
you don't even need an invite. You just go join.
You just go, but
Yeah.
you need. Oh yeah, with the Discord, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's a link on the website.
Send me an email. I'll give you a link. I don't have one in front of me, or I haven't made a tiny URL or anything like that. So send me an email, Chuck Byers.
Yeah, Chuck Byers, get in there. You sound
There's a
very
reason
nice.
we don't give it to Scott because he can't fill it out.
That's
He
right.
just
That's right.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Request it from me,
But
Chuck.
But if you want in on that Discord, it's no big deal. Just get in
Yeah,
there.
it's free. You don't need an invite. You just. I mean, how do you find it without an invite though? Do you just? Is there a link we have anywhere?
Yeah. Oh,
Is it
yeah. On the web. So
frogpants.com/TMS.
yeah, over there has a link. You can also just go straight to the meet if you want to go to frogpants.com/Discord. I made one for that. It just gets you in.
Probably where we should put a link to the current Tadpooly feud survey. Actually.
Yeah, we can put the survey there. I mean, especially if we can figure out a way to make it so it doesn't change URLs every time.
Right, exactly. Like make it so that I could do a tiny URL and just keep using the same shortened version every time.
Yeah, something that just wouldn't be easy to forget every month or whatever. A bunch of work, man. It's a bunch of work.
It's a bunch of work.
All right, science time.
Yeah, I like that.
I mean, we got a little science about putting stuff in your wiener, but
right.
Don't be doing that, anyone. Let's see.
No.
Pull him
Let's
in
hope.
here.
Let's hope Bobby has something else, because it would be a drag if he said, "Oh, I was going to talk about the same thing that Dan talked about."
Yeah, we're going to talk about wieners, putting things in wieners. All right, let's play his thing here. Here you go. Where is it? Right here.
Science.
Hey, it's science. How do I know? Because I'm looking at Bobby's handsome face. Bobby, welcome back to the show, and thanks for being here. How are you?
I'm doing well. So I've got an idea for Chuck.
Do it.
All right.
For Chuck Byers. So here's what we do for people like Chuck who aren't on anything. What you do, Brian, because there's no way Scott's gonna follow up on this. What you do is you say,
whatever.
You say, hear me out before you
All
start
right.
getting judgmental.
All
there.
right.
I mean, I guess I'm being judgmental.
Yeah, it's you
first.
judging.
There's no way Scott's ever going to do this. Hey, don't get offended.
Yeah,
What you do? So what you do is you say, here's the URL, https://docs.google.com/document/d/1 lowercase, and you do the whole thing.
Yeah,
And that'll get them there.
that's true, because They just have to keep pausing their audio and typing in the next few
type in the next
letters.
letter.
Right.
Exactly.
If you want it bad enough, you'll get it. Now, was I wrong, Scott? You're not going to do that.
No,
You're not going to
no,
write
you
that
know what?
down.
You are absolutely right. I am not going to do that. I should have waited for the full explanation before I took any offense. By the way, the computer would like to say one more thing to us. Here you go. Hold on. It's taking a second. Why? Shouldn't take this long.
Never put anything in your ween.
Yeah. See, don't do it. Don't put anything.
Never put anything in your ween.
All right.
I like how she whispers it. It's almost ASMR. Hey, Bobby, I hear the Frontier is actively looking for pilots, and they're like willing to pay people exorbitant salaries to come be pilots for them. Have you?
Is that true? Weird.
Yeah.
Okay. Bobby.
Everyone asks me that. Do I want to be like an airline pilot?
Yeah. Would
No,
you want
the
to be? I
answer's
know you're
no.
learning how to fly, but would you want?
No.
You wouldn't want that kind of responsibility.
It's not the responsibility. I think it would be fine, and I would probably enjoy it. But from what I understand, the schedule's pretty demanding, and with my kids, like maybe if I didn't have kids that had to be
interested in hanging out with.
Yeah, exactly. But you have to, I think, and I could be wrong about this, but I think to be an airline pilot, you have to be willing to be gone. It's like a trucker, right? You got to be. Yeah. You got to be willing to be gone for like weeks at a time.
Yeah.
So, because they have a pretty intense schedule. You're flying somewhere, when you sleep, you're sleeping wherever you are in a hotel for a couple
fly
hours.
Somewhere else, it may not be back home, and yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Well, so what is the end game for you? Is it just learning to fly, and that's cool enough?
So all I just want to be able to fly. Like a private pilot's license is fine with me. I probably, if I can. With my vision, if I can get the medical certification that you need for a commercial license, I probably will go ahead and do that and maybe slowly work towards a commercial license just to do it. I'll already be flying, and the things you learn for a commercial license, I would like to learn anyway. But there's a lot of things you can do with a commercial pilot's license that's not being and that's actually an extra level on top of it. Being an airline pilot, there's actually more certification you have to have on top of that, so that's a whole nother category. But commercial license would be great. You can do all sorts of things with that.
Is it specialized if you want to land on water and stuff? I saw a lot of those.
There are
Alaska.
certifications for seaplanes, they call them. So you have to get your seaplane certification and stuff like that. Yeah.
Any interest in that? You want to land on the water?
That would be fun. Yeah. I hear it's fun.
Yeah, a little hydroplane. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I could be like Baloo from Tailspin.
Or Sully.
Yeah, or Sully.
I think Sully wasn't planning to...
That wasn't his idea.
It depends on who you ask.
Yeah. Conspiracy theories abound. Here's some breaking news right here.
This just in, Bobby Frankenberger has no interest in commercial piloting.
I really should have this website removed from my life.
Why does he get that and I have a weird anus? Why is that the way?
I know the irony is I do have a weird anus.
Yeah, right? I don't want to know any more than that. I don't want to know anything else. Bobby, let's get to the science portion of our science segment. What's going on? You're probably brewing something up for your show, so share. What do you got?
Yeah, we talk a lot about science and how, it's sort of like a prestigious institution, right? Like people think highly of science and scientists, and they're the people who discover the new things and add knowledge to the world and everything. So I wanted to talk about a very prestigious branch of science, which is tickle science.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah. And in particular, talk about what it is that we know about the sensation of tickling, and a study that was done recently that looked into a question in the mysterious world of tickle science, which is, why can't we tickle ourselves?
Oh. Yeah, to laughter anyway. I mean, I can do a thing where...
It's the same reason you can't tell a joke and make yourself laugh, right? Just because you're doing it, you're expecting that sensation.
Well, I make myself laugh. I laugh at my own jokes all the time, so I don't know if that's...
Okay, all right.
But it's... I think Brian's on the right. You're on the right.
Jokes that only I hear, I roll my eyes at it like, oh, Brian.
I think Brian's got a good point there. I can tell you this, like there's a special thing I can do where on the back of my right or left arm, if I just kind of lightly tickle it, it's just kind of relaxing. I don't know. I got like nerve endings there or something. It's just kind of nice. When someone else does it to me, it tickles me uncontrollably and I laugh like an idiot.
Yeah.
So why? What's the difference? Have they figured that out?
Well, so there is one prevailing theory, and it does have a little bit to do with. So it has a little bit to do with what you were saying, Brian. But do you know why scientists do you know why we tickle? Why do we tickle each other at all?
Oh, because we get a reaction. Because we get, I don't know. It's, it's because you want a reaction out of your friend, your child, your partner, your whoever.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it's a social thing, right? Like
Okay.
it involves the prevailing wisdom is that it's disarming to people. It increases social bonding. Maybe it eases tensions, that kind of thing. Animals tickle each other. There are plenty of animals that do it. Not just
like if we could
chimpanzees.
tickle Putin, he'd probably be a lot nicer.
Yeah,
Like,
we'd end this conflict. Yeah, just a good
He
tickle.
needs a good tickling.
Yeah.
No one dares do it though, because they'll get poisoned the second they do it or whatever.
Fed to his dogs.
So, but there are plenty of animals that do it. Humans are not the only animals that do it. Like I said, chimpanzees are known to tickle each other, but also dogs and dolphins, and rats. Actually, whenever tickling is studied, it's usually studied in rats, which is I think really interesting. Like that would not be an animal that I would have first thought of when it comes to tickling.
Domestic rats, I would do. I wouldn't do a wild one in the streets or whatever. That thing will give you weird diseases. But yeah, like I get it. Rats are often used for all kinds of. I was reading about some new breakthrough cancer thing that just happened, which I know very little about, except it sounded exciting. Where they figured out how to get good cells in some organs to rush to other organs and repair damage caused by cancer. It just seemed like a big deal. Anyway, once again, they're seeing all the results in rats because that's kind of where you start, right? It's your baseline mice and rats.
Right. Rats are easy to breed, so it's good when we can find things that can be studied in them. And also, it's probably pretty non-controversial to tickle rats in a lab rather than...
Yeah. There are worse things to do. That's true.
Yeah,
Behind the showbiz pizza. Yeah.
These are what are interesting, though. Like this, if you ask me, that this category of discussion belongs with why do we sneeze? Why... what was the other one? Laughter in general, period. Like laughter is weird. Sure. It's weird that we emit this sound. And I know they study that too, but that stuff fascinates me.
Yeah, and so we've studied it in rats. We've looked at the neurology in rats. We've actually identified the place in rats' brains where tickle sensations or the reaction to tickling seems to come from. We also know, by the way, I think this is cool. We know that rats actually enjoy being tickled because that question might be, are they just making a noise because you're doing it, or are they actually enjoying it? And they found that when you tickle rats, they will like if you tickle a rat and then move your hand to the other side of like a box that it's in, it'll run towards your hand to try to get you to do it again. And that's pretty I thought that's pretty interesting. But so we know it's a social kind of thing, or we're pretty sure that it's a social sort of activity, right? And because a lot of the animals that do it are also social animals. So to answer the question of there's a lot of mysteries in tickle science, which is not just why it happens, but what's going on in the brain when you get tickled. And that's what this scientist, Michael Brecht, in Humboldt University in Berlin, was trying to figure out, was what's going on in the brain specifically when we are being tickled. And so decided to do this with not just imaging or anything like that, brain imaging, but wanted to look at the question of not just some of the things we've talked about, but specifically what happens why he was really interested in the question of why we can't tickle ourselves and what's the reason for that. Now, Brian, you mentioned the thought of that we know we're doing it.
You're expecting
right?
it. You're looking. That's like, you're scratching your foot. It doesn't tickle. You're just scratching an itch on the bottom of your foot that normally if somebody else were to touch would make you jump out of your hide. And yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Be
and
tickled,
so that was he wanted to tease that out. Like, have something. Does it have something to do with expectation, right? Knowing that it's coming. So he took 12 people and put them on a chair, had them lay down on a chair where a person would be behind them and could tickle them in various places without them seeing it coming and knowing which place that they were. It was random. They were looking at a monitor. The tickler was looking at a monitor that would like show a body part randomly that they would tickle, and there were five different parts. It was feet, armpits, neck, chin. No, it was neck, armpit, lateral trunk, which is the side of your body. They're just being,
Lateral trunk. Okay.
Lateral trunk.
I like that.
the bottom of the foot, and the crown of the head. And the crown of the head was like the control, right? Like not a really ticklish
not a
place.
ticklish area. This is just to make sure that the experiment works. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So the tickler would be behind the person, and it was really important because previous science has shown that in order to be tickled, we have to be comfortable, and it usually has to be someone that we know or that we're at least comfortable with. Right.
Yeah.
I feel bad for the people that had to test the "I don't know this guy" part of the test. Did somebody have to do that? Where they walk up behind him?
Please sit in this chair, and we're going to have this man come in and tickle you.
Yeah, that sounds rough, especially if you didn't know he was behind you the whole time or whatever. I don't know. It seems crazy.
But these were two people that knew each other, or at least were comfortable with each other, and they would do this. So the person would stand behind him, and they pointed high-speed GoPros at the people so that they could analyze their facial reactions and how quickly they happened and stuff like that.
Right.
So what did they find out? First of all, interesting things. 300 milliseconds after the tickling ensued, a facial expression would be caused, which is very fast.
Mm-hmm.
And then 500 milliseconds after that, vocalization, aka laughing, would occur.
Sure.
And they thought that was kind of late because normally, when other experiments have tested how quickly we have vocal responses to touch sensation, normally it happens more like 320 milliseconds after. But this happened a little bit slower than that on average.
Got it.
So which is just an interesting observation, right?
Yeah.
So here's what they found out. They found out, first of all, if someone was tickling themselves, it would not cause any kind of tickle reaction.
Does that mean there's some that did? Like some of them actually laughed at the tickling?
Small amount might be able to in certain very ticklish spots. The bottom of the feet are the ticklish spot according to them.
That would freak me out if I tickled myself and laughed. I would worry about my mentality.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
That's very weird.
So most people, almost nobody could tickle themselves. Very ticklish when someone else did it to you. But here's the really interesting thing was they found that they could suppress if you were tickling yourself while someone was tickling you, it would also suppress the tickling sensation.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm going to remember this.
Yeah, so if somebody's tickling you and you don't want it to be happening, then you just need to start also tickling yourself. I don't know.
Where were you?
I'm trying to tease some practical.
Where were you in junior high when my idiot brother would pin me down and tickle me, and I couldn't do anything about it? I wish I'd have known this trick. I didn't know.
Science hadn't advanced far enough yet.
Stupid science. What was it? The 80s? My gosh, what a bunch of
Seems
slackers.
like you could create a machine that randomly picks a place to tickle you. And it's got, whatever feathers or whatever, at all the different spots.
Yeah.
And you're looking away. You can't see which thing is approaching which body part. And then it goes, and then it tickles you like it would work, right?
It might work.
That would be great.
Yeah.
They should hire you.
Again,
You could
you're
help.
kind of expecting it. Yeah, I'll do a new testicle machine.
Yeah, tickle.
You could revolutionize tickle science with your tickle bot.
Yeah,
Yes.
tickle tester, or like Brian says, testtickle.com.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that won't be confused with anything. It'll be perfect. Do that.
Don't Google it, folks.
No, don't Google testicle.
So what he thinks is going on here then is that it's not as much it's a little bit about expectation, but this Brecht scientist thinks that that what's happening is when we know that when we know that a sensation is coming, if we're touching our own bodies, then the brain just globally around your body suppresses the sensation of touch. It makes it so you are less likely to feel touch sensations when you are doing it to yourself, or when you're aware of your own, like, your own movement is causing it. And so that just globally reduces the sensation of touch, which makes it so that when someone else is also trying to tickle you at the same time that you're doing it to yourself, it suppresses that sensation as well, which seems to make sense, because think about it. When you're sitting in your chair and you're moving around, you don't typically feel your tiny movements, right?
Not really, unless you're
Right.
purposely thinking about it, I guess. But you don't notice it in passing.
Hypersensitive or something.
But the sensations that you do feel are not like really sensitive sensations. It's just you can feel yourself moving in your chair. But if someone were to, without you knowing it, walk up behind you and maybe tap your clothing, even not even your shoulder, but maybe like tap just your shirt, you'd probably feel that.
Yeah.
Even though it's a very small touch, and it's because you don't know that it's coming. Right.
It's kind of the Princess and the Pea thing, right? You're used to whatever you're used to. Like, we develop and our brains solidify around whatever the sensations and the feelings that this body produces. Unless that changes significantly, I'm going to be completely used to that, and any alterations,
no matter how slight.
no matter how slight, are going to make me notice. You know?
Yeah.
Which is its own fascinating thing, kind of. Because, I guess it's a survival thing. If I know what my zone is and I'm in it, then I'm good. But the minute, like, I hear a loud noise that isn't normally here, or any other stimuli, visual, touch, whatever, you immediately go, shit, this is different. The tiger's going to eat me and I'm going to die, and I better get in the cave real quick, kind of reactions, right? That's what we do. But why we laugh when somebody jabs their fingers in our ribs is just beyond me still.
Yeah.
Even after this conversation, I still don't really get it.
And that's the thing, right? Because even, what you were saying a second ago, Bobby, is our brain says, oh, there's a finger coming towards the bottom of my foot. I'm going to lower the sensitivity of that area. Still doesn't work. And is that just because, like, that area on your bottom of your feet or your ribs, even with your brain saying, all right, I'm cutting off the sensation there, reducing the sensation there, it's still enough to cause a tickling sensation?
Maybe it's because of the unpredictability of it. That's a really good question, because you're right. If you know someone is going to be tickling you, you still feel it. You still feel it, and you still laugh from it. But maybe your foot, the nerves on your feet are there's not a direct, like, this is exactly what it's going to feel like, so your brain can stop it. There's a little bit of randomness, a little bit of I know it's coming, but I don't know what it's going to feel like. Yeah.
I think you've explained why I don't like drugs that alter sensation, because even the ones that make you feel good, they change the norm, and you go, this isn't normal, and it makes me kind of panicky and feel like, I don't want to be here. This is weird. Like, I remember when I had my
makes Scott paranoid.
That's
we heard
right.
it here,
I probably
folks.
would be. I'd probably be a paranoid user. Like, that's probably what would happen to me. Like, when I got this big chunk of skin taken out, wherever it is on this side of my neck, for what turned out to be cancerous or precancerous anyway. They took it out. This is forever ago, back when I was like 29 or something. And when they did it, they gave me Percocet. Oh no, something like that I took home with me. And they said, just take one of these today and then see how you feel the next day or whatever while it heals. I took half of one. Oh, Loratab, it was called.
Sure. Yep.
Took half of one of those things, and I thought I had gone to Mars and back. Like, what the F am I doing on this? Nothing felt normal. And so then because nothing felt normal, all that stimulus felt like I was almost somebody else, and it just freaked me out, just panicked me.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it again. I'm like, I'll take the pain. Let's just go. Let's do the pain. At least the pain I can recognize as for what it is. This other stuff makes me feel like I don't know who I am anymore, and I hated that. So anyway, everyone else's experience may be different. They'd be like, oh, no, that not only did it help my pain, but I slept like a baby and I brr.
Yeah.
Just a different reaction, I guess. Anyway. Well, there you go. Is that what you guys are doing? Like a deeper dive on the next show, or is there something else going on? What are you guys doing?
No, that's just for you.
Oh, that's nice. I like that.
No, on our last episode of All Around Science, the one that just came out yesterday, me and Maura talked about volcanoes. There's this really cool one-of-a-kind volcano that spews out black lava.
Whoa.
And it's in Africa, and she talked a lot about that. And I talked about how the FDA finally decided that avocados are healthy.
Oh, now we've decided.
And perhaps sugary cereal is not.
Oh! I don't even know what to say about this information.
Yeah.
I do remember when I was a kid, we were told that avocados they were bad. They were clog your arteries. Don't eat them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now
it's
they're
one
all
of those
like
things that goes back and forth, like wine and eggs. Like
Yep.
this month, wine's good for you. This month, eggs are good for you. Oh, next month, no, it's bad. It's the worst thing ever.
Next thing you know, someone's mixing their wine with their eggs with an avocado on top.
Oh,
who even knows?
Describing my lunch.
Actually sounds all right. Avocado and eggs right now.
Yeah, egg and avocado, sure.
And a caveman.
Oh, and a caveman, says the lady. So, Bobby, having you on is great, but we need to find out where to go get more of you. Please tell folks where that podcast is and how to get it.
It is called All Around Science, and we talk about science every week, all kinds of stuff, and you can just search for it in all the places where you search for podcasts, and or allaroundscience.com.
Excellent. That's a great idea. Bobby Frankenberger, have a fantastic week. We'll see you next time.
Thanks.
See you, Bobby.
Bye. All right, there he goes. There he goes. Real quick here, wanted to remind people today at 3:30 we're doing the for Halloween fun. Me and Brian Dunaway are discussing all things Alone in the Dark, the old classic games on Play Retro. If you have not heard of Play Retro and you like retro video games, you might like this show. We record every Tuesday for the most part, and today it's happening at 3:30 Mountain Time right here at frogpants.tv or later on the podcast wherever you get your shows. Brian, you got anything coming up? We should.
I don't. I'm waiting for Jenny. We recorded last night. My guest on the Fulcrum feed. So we're talking about Star Wars music and all the history of it, for everyone from John Williams, of course, all the way up to Ludwig Göransson and the new dude who does Andor, whose name is escaping, Nicholas Betiel or something like that.
That new stuff, that Andor stuff is so good.
It's so good. And you know, there's a lot of great stuff in there. Even Miko or Meko or however it's pronounced. But yeah, that's coming up on the Fulcrum feed. I will let everyone know when it's up on the feed. And, you know, whenever there's a day that we don't have TMS, you can play Scott and my guest spots on that show simultaneously. And it'll almost be like we're doing a TMS with Jenny as the guest.
Yeah. Take that AI-generated podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't need a fancy computer to do that. Just play two podcasts at the same time.
Damn straight. I loved being on there, and she's a great host, and I'm sure it was a good time. So I'm glad to hear you ended up on there as well. It's awesome.
For sure.
Who made the music for Mandalorian? That guy, also very cool.
Yes, that was Ludwig Göransson.
Oh, you said his name. It's a hard name to remember. Yeah. I think I even have that here. Here you go. Enjoy it. I mean, it's so iconic now.
So good. Hey,
so
Mando.
Good. Yeah, hey, Mando. What's up? All right, we're going to take our leave. Before we do, a reminder of a couple of things. The website has all the connections to everything you're looking for. So all you out there, like, where do I request songs? How do I get on the Discord? Soon the feud thing. All of that stuff. frogpants.com/TMS. If you would like to support our show, patreon.com/TMS. And if you'd like to email us, use the email address, themorningstream@gmail.com. There's a the in front, okay? themorningstream@gmail.com because someone else stole the version without it.
Jerk.
Also, TMS was not available. Anyway, that's it for us. Let's get out of here with music. What do you got there, dude?
Yeah, sounds good. I'm copying a link right now that I'm going to send to you. Hey, I've got a request that came in from Kevin Chu. We know him as Icor or Icker. He says, hey, Satan and Beelzebub. Ooh. This is a request for any day in October for Halloween. If you want a spooky song, then Eroc's cover of Tubular Bells, a.k.a. the theme from The Exorcist, is good. You'll need to bleep a word at the 136 mark, or don't. Give the people listening an incentive to download the episode and listen to the songs.
Wow.
No, you'll want to, because it's basically audio from the movie The Exorcist, and Linda Blair says a very horrible thing that they used in this.
What was the time? Did you give me a timestamp? What was it again?
Yes, 1 minute 36 seconds
I'll just
in
find
the
it.
song. Yep.
Okay.
So there you go. Anyway, this is great. This is E-Rock, otherwise known as Eric Calderone, that dude that smiles and plays heavy metal guitar. His cover of the Exorcist theme, Tubular Bells, from Mike Oldfield. That album, the original album, not even the Exorcist, but that album, Tubular Bells, that whole side, 45 minutes of that song just freaked me out as a kid. Or
Oh, yeah. It's scary as hell.
Yeah. Oh,
Also, just that his music in general. It's just something about it. Even the stuff that's more upbeat and chill. It's like he's a very unique creator. No
he
question.
really is. Very cool stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's the original. That song "Family Man" by Hall & Oates. Leave me alone. I'm a family man.
Really? That's him.
That's originally Mike Oldfield. Yeah.
I would have never known that. That's crazy. All right, I'll remember that next time I hear it.
There you go.
Yep.
All right, do that. Hey, let's get to the song. Here is the Exorcist theme by E-Rock.
All right. That'll do it for us. We'll see you guys tomorrow for a Wednesday edition of the Morning Stream.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Frog Pants Network. Get more shows like this at frogpants.com.
Brian Ibbott.
Yeah.
That's right. Thank you, Leo. Thank you, Leo.
Haven't heard that in a while.